All right, well, unfortunately, the plan for any type of extra screws kind of fell through. As expected with something like this, I should be leaning just on what was given to me, but just due to the time and the circumstances, I'm just going to go ahead with trying to put as much pressure as I can on that particular section and just continue on since this is a part two. And apologies, part one ended the way it did. I had to send a different message to handle some business and it cut that off, but here we go, part two. Yeah. So, out of interest for not stripping the screw, I'm just gonna go in as far as I can, um, and it's just gonna have to be how it is right now. So, um, takes what would have been a 5-star down to a 4-star, at least for the time being, because 5-star out of 5 would be perfect, but as it sits right now, this is not perfect conditions, but a 4 out of 5 isn't bad either. All right, let's keep going. Okay, now we're at step 4. We're going to deal with panel D. And we're still using the same screws that we originally started with. So I can't say I know for sure what kind of alignment that we're dealing with here. Besides the fact that I'm about to drop the safe. But it looks like we're going to end up having to flip this at some point to get the bottom panel on, which kind of comes across as a little bit of a surprise to me. Just given the fact that, usually speaking, at least in my previous recollection, putting on the back panel would be, the bottom panel, and then flipping it over would be how to do things. But we're just gonna stick to the manual. And see as far as that takes us. Okay. So I'm gonna have to push this back, try to get some kind of stability against it. And then worry about this alignment once I get this door open. So at this point, I might just have to worry about doing one side at a time, but I think, at least as far as this back section goes, it's coming together. So let's do that. Okay. Sorry, I had to check on the recording there. I saw a message at the bottom. All right. So again, apologies for the angle here. I'll try my best to describe how it is before it all falls apart on me. All right. So it looks like I'm lining up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we got 10 and also 2 at the bottom. So actually, that's going to be the rest of the screws right there. So hang tight. So I'm starting from the 2, not at the very top, but at the top of the sides. Damn. Just when I get a good hold on it. All right. Let's try this again. My next project, I'll work on getting friends. Or at least the kind of friends I could pay in beer for stuff like this. Okay. There we go. All right. Just got the alignment together. So let me hurry up with that. Okay. Something didn't like that. Oh, okay. Good. That was just my screwdriver. Woo. It's going, guys. Let me just finish this one, then I'll bring the camera in just so that you can see what I'm doing or what part I'm at. So at this point right now, everything is gonna come together just based off alignment. I don't want to keep pushing it too far with this one. Just because it's been a little free at this point. So I'm going to trust that it's tight since it's flush. But hopefully you can see here where I'm lining up on the right and excuse my orientation there. Actually, let me just flip it. So there you go. My right one and my left one there. Let's flip it back again. Left, right. And then just working my way up and around. I should probably take care of the top first real quick, just in preparation for flipping it over. So again, I don't have enough to keep you on the inside and do everything like that. So my apologies in advance for that. But at least wanted to let you know exactly where I'm at right now. And this process here, you know what, just for the sake of time, let me pause it since you see which screws I need to put in, and then I'll come back once I finish that part. All right, quick thing. I'm gonna just bring you over real quick. So everything got inserted fine for the screws on each side. Hopefully you can see that. So working my way up, I'm aligning it so I could try to see along with you there. But as we work our way up, what happened was that I got another screw at the very top there that wouldn't insert all the way. So with that in mind, and it's this one right there, hopefully you can see that clearly, because I'm kind of doing it blind. But I'm going to see if I can flip this thing around and see the top panel and see if that helps. So I'm going to pause you again just so I could try and test it. And if it doesn't work, then we're just going to move on. All right. So here's just a quick update on that top panel, letter E. I tried flipping it around. We did not get any results on the alignment from that. Go figure. I tried double checking with the bottom panel to see if the letters might have been switched. It doesn't seem that way because they are shaped differently, and the top shape is correct for its fitment. So those two screws that are perpendicular to each other, they are not fully inserted. We are to a point, or at least, hold on. I meant to say that they were parallel to each other, so excuse me. So the two that are parallel to the right are not fully seated. That being said, they are secure, quotes there, secure. But I'm not confident in that. Again, it's still a -1 star overall, but everything else is going okay. So let's let bygones be bygones at this point and move on to the next step. Okay, so now we are to secure the bottom panel and use the remaining screws, of which I count that are 6 screws that are left. So again, we are securing the bottom plate, letter F. So here's letter F. Now, it doesn't say if we insert from the from lifting it up and over, which I presume so, because I would not think that it would go well this way otherwise, from the inside down. No. So yeah, this is coming from the outside, so we kind of have to lift over it, which is not exactly instilling me with the greatest confidence in the unit. But regardless, you gotta do what you gotta do. And then these have to be fastened with the J fasteners on each four corner. So here's your fastener here. And again, I do have all four, but this may get a little tricky as far as aligning this bottom section. So I don't think you want to see me struggle with that on camera. So let's go ahead and do another pause, and I'll let you know how my orientation goes. Okay, bring you back because this does fit from the inside. It does slide down in this orientation here, and it does fit upside down basically as well. The corners are all cut the same. Well, actually, the corners are not all cut the same, but these rounded off edges at the bottom there versus the square over here, and well, I should say this more almost a Tetris line, so to speak, instead of the 90-degree angle over here. That's the orientation that we're going to go for when we seat this in. So excuse the noise. But you want to come and take a look. You get a little bit of light here. So excuse that, but basically this is how it's going to slide down, and you can see how the fitment is for the corners, and from there we'll put together the fasteners. I'll do it from a little bit higher just so that hopefully it comes across a little bit more clear. So hopefully this gives you a good look. So let me put you back down here, finish pressing this down, and get to the portion for the fasteners. Okay, looks like it does reach a finite point. Well, that I thought it did, but then it keeps going. It's going to take some fitment over here, so excuse me again. Let me try to get this flush. Now, this may be something that comes across to more of you astute viewers that might have seen this already, but we kind of got a factory defect going on here. And let me grab the flashlight. And this could have been a result of just like maybe drop damage, possibly, but call it misalignment. But you see it kind of starts here with this bottom panel. You can kind of see it there jutting out a bit. Maybe that's too bright, but right here. And then same thing carries on the inside where there's something that's protruding against that very bottom panel there. And the net result of that Let me put you down. I believe it comes from this indent right here. So this is not, sorry, right here. Right here. So this is not flush with here. So I might take a hammer to it, see if I could kind of knock it back a bit. It's crude, but it'll have to do with what I got. So hang tight. All right, guys, I was able to bend that corner back a bit, and this is about as flush as it's gonna get. And it's not flush, but again, as close as it's gonna get. Okay, let's continue on. So now we're gonna deal with the fasteners. I got 4 screws here for that. So let's see how they line up. Okay. So again, we're on step 5, and the way that it's showing, they're going to be vertical. Oh, interesting. Never mind. So it seems that the screws I was supposed to use for these fasteners, I might have put in prematurely early, or just early. Spare me a moment here, just to line up my thoughts. So I'm thinking that this bottom section has to be raised a little bit. But let me just try a fastener just to see how it lines up. Okay. So if this is correct, there's supposed to be a gap. I guess a natural gap from where this sits. So unfortunately, I have to raise this up and then place it back. Again, probably another section where I should have paused, but I think I got it now. Let's take a look at the alignment. So yeah. So, show you here real quick. So, this is how it's supposed to sit, roughly speaking, in terms of getting it aligned with like that screw in the corner. So that's the idea that we're supposed to go with each of the four corners. And basically this was just unsightly, but we could line that back up. That's not a big deal. So I'll do that, pause, and come back. Thank you. All right, y'all. After spending a buttload of time on the floor, the fasteners are secure. And here's the floor section. Just give you a little bit there. Hopefully you could have seen all that. And we're gonna move on. So all right, that being said, we're at step 6 now, which is to secure the shelf panel, which is G. And no fasteners should be, or no screws should be needed for that, at least from what it mentions here. So let's go get G. Here G is. So you can see it there. And okay. Opposite way, excuse me. So it looks like that's it. Let's bring you over. Oh, let me get my flashlight first. Sorry. Here we go. Let's take a look here. Well, maybe it's going to go a little bit higher. Maybe. It sits here. It just slides back and forth a little, but it looks like that's what it's supposed to be. Let me check the alignment over here, at least for what it shows in the photo. So yeah, I do have the correct side leaning towards me. It is above. Oh, actually, yeah, it's supposed to be a lot higher. Excuse me. I put it way too low. So, good thing I double checked. So, let's take a look here for that. Yeah, that sounded like it slid right in. Let's double check here, and yep, that looks correct. All right, now let's bring you over. So yeah, it's fairly top. At the top. But there you go. That's where G is supposed to be. And just to give you an idea of the orientation there. So there you go. Next step. We're at 7. So we got the gun brackets now. So we're on H. So H and I's go together. Different heights, I'm sure. And we got the bracket bracket I onto the connector H. So it's supposed to slide in. Oh, actually, excuse me, I'm off camera. So INH, literally the foam insert just slides in as so. And they are flush together. So, and again, we have 3 of these. So we got the first one done. I'll try to demonstrate this from different angles, but I mean, this thing goes together like a glove. It's probably the most intuitive part of this process altogether right now, which is to say that it feels fairly smart. So here we go. Here's the last one. Takes some force, but mostly we're just talking friction here. Yeah, just a little more. Yeah, that should be good. So, not bad. Okay. So now that we got those 3 done, and we still have 6 screws left, this is to install the bracket into the bracket connector, and then attach that now fully assembled gun bracket connector to the back panel, side panel, and right side panel. Well, excuse me, I meant to say left side panel, right side panel. So let me see how that goes, and it should just slip right in, but let me see how it goes first, pause, and then resume. Okay, and as you may have already saw, but there are some square panels in there, and these hooks here attached to those panels, and you do have to bend these out so that they latch on to those squares. So I already did that with the first one just as my own test, and I'll show you that real quick. So that's right there for you to see, and I'll level off the other 3. I already, while I was paused, leveled those out. So, and the rest I'll just do in real time right now. So here are the other 2 I got, and here's the flathead that I'm using, just to pry those tabs out a little bit. Try not to do it by too much so it doesn't like hang over. And of course, you could just bend it back, but like I just did, overcorrected. Not a big deal. Just gonna push it back out again. There we go. And a few more here. And the way that I am placing them is that the slip of the bracket, it goes down. So here you are with the tabs sticking out a little bit. Hopefully you could catch that away. Okay. And let's do the final fitments here. Here's the last one. Okay. So the way I'm slipping them is up and down. And then I pull it. So here you go on each side here. You got your, I put the back at the highest, the left side in the middle, and the right side at the lowest. And again, this section here was already pre-installed. So the more of that, the better, but hopefully everything here came out looking okay from the camera point of view. So there you go. All right. Next step. And we are on the last step, step 8, which is to secure the safe to the wall, and the expansion bolts are what's used for that. So I'm not right there as of yet right now, but just so that you can see the expansion bolts, here it is. And yep, it goes at 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. I'm just checking for fitment right now. So this is a later part of the, let's call it the project, that I probably will get into at another time. But never had an expansion bolt before, so cool. I like that, at least as an option. So I'm just going to place them right now. But I do find this very interesting. And this, well, if you want to see what it looks like when it's taken apart, I'll show you that right now. For the expansion bolt, and here's the headpiece over here. So at least you know, they gave me something to work with here. And I put that head on backwards. So there we go. It's supposed to face out like a trumpet and slide it back and forth. There. So again, I'm just putting these right now as placeholders. But the concept is good behind it. So at least for the idea of being able to go in from the outside in. So I just find this very, very interesting. So I'm putting it together how I'll hang it on my wall for now. Hell, just because it's my first time doing it, I might end up just watching a video on it. Just to be, a little more secure in what I'm doing. Don't want to take that for granted. Since, it's not gonna, hold my hand as far as like the instructions go for the entire process. So that still does leave us with, um, again, the aforementioned 6 screws and this battery pack that will need to be connected. There you go. But I think for the most part, um, let's call it. Let's call it that. Even though it's not fully 100% done, I'm gonna call it done. Since the only thing that's left is actually to secure that portion, um, with the exception of the system settings here. So, talking about opening the cabinet, inserting the battery. I already held you up for enough time. This part should not be difficult, but let me go ahead and put the rest back together. And you know what? Just for the sake of it, let me just get the batteries together too. Since we're already 40 minutes in, might as well stick it through. But let me just go ahead and make a quick note for myself about the expansion bolts. Okay, so that's done. So it's going to call it completed, but we're going to go ahead with our other parts. So again, that emergency battery box here. Be there in 2 more seconds. Hang tight. Just got my AA batteries. Okay. So, sorry about the wait there. Let's go ahead and look at this here. So, I already slid it out here on the back end a little bit, but just going to go ahead and finish sliding that out and get these AA's in here. If curiosity kills the cats, I am using Duracell. Fresh out the packaging Duracell, no less. The kind that is not for retail sale. Must be some leftovers that I got from other purchases. There you go. Yeah. I can see how it's supposed to slide on, but it's one of those cases where once you do it the first time, it never wants to do it the same the second time. There we go. All right. Got to get it just right. Okay. So we got an alarm system here. Okay. We got the batteries. Rechargeable batteries are not recommended. All right. So let's get this going here. So here's some other warnings about the batteries over here. So there's a button on the side for the settings. Okay, so my main thing right now is where do I need to insert the battery or the emergency battery. So pardon me a moment while I get my brain together on this. So maybe this is going to be it here. There it is. Okay. So let's do this here. Okay. Let's do this first. Okay. So that was the setting button. Still trying to figure out this thing. Okay. So let's go ahead and do what we need to do right now, which is to reset. So we hold this for 3 seconds. Okay. Actually, let's disconnect the emergency battery. Okay. So this is the emergency key, so let's leave that out for now. Okay. So apparently we're gonna deal with 2 sets of batteries, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna do it 2 sets. That was just the emergency one that I left out. But apparently there's another one that's supposed to be on the inside. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't tell me where exactly it is for that panel on the inside. Hopefully, it's not behind something like this that requires me to, um, you know, get more invasive inside the product. Let's see here. And I think we are going to have to get invasive, unfortunately. Unless this is it right here. Let's take a look. I feel some kind of panel on the side. Okay. It's telling me to pull down. Yeah, come on. Yep. Okay. So here's the internal panel for the batteries. Sorry. So what I was led to believe was the internal side was going to be, or the emergency side was going to be used, but here we have an internal cover that's supposed to be used for um, in itself. It's going to be used in for itself. So let me grab 4 more double A's. So that in itself is good food for thought. Make sure you keep plenty of double A's because I myself only have a couple left, but I don't feel like I'm necessarily in an emergency where I need to get more. I get more out of AAA batteries than I do double A's right now, just because of like my remotes. So good thing I felt okay enough that I had enough double A's to get through this process. So excuse me. Excuse my bumbling around. But I don't even recall the instructions even mentioning about the side panel here. So let's take a look. Okay. There we go. All right, let's bring you back just for a final look. So, whatever. So, here are the batteries here. Hopefully you can see that just fine. Okay. And let me get that panel back on. And let's finish this up. Okay. So, where did my manual go? Hang on a sec. Probably left it in the room. I don't know. It's up top. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm checking back in. Yeah, I don't see anything here about that panel, so be aware. Let's go ahead and close this back up. Okay, and let's follow back the instructions. So let's take a look here. So we got the batteries inside. We put the cover back on. So we're going to use the password that it comes with. Nope, not working. All right, let's bypass that briefly. Let's do the reset. All right, let's close that. Let's try it again. Okay, so, oh, convenient. Has a float flashlight. Ain't that cute? Now, the main thing that we have here is that after you put in your initial password, you have to hit the pound button. The asterisk is for deleting your previous entry. So, now that we did that, let's do it again. All right, so now that we opened it, keep it open. We're gonna press our key here for the asterisk. And unfortunately, I'm gonna put in my own password. And then I hit the pound button to confirm. And then I'm gonna repeat that. Hit the pound button to confirm. So let's see if it works for me. Nope, it did not like that. you know what the emergency system sounds like. Okay, well, that part is noticeable because apparently I entered the wrong password 3 times in a row. So there, I just activated the vibration alarm. So, okay. So apparently it still wants to operate under the old stuff. So let's try it again. Okay. All right, let's do this instead. All right, where's the Okay. Let's keep going with that. Okay. Just to be clear, I am putting in my fingerprint. So do me a favor, don't give my ex-wife or any ex-girlfriends any funny ideas. Okay. gonna stop short of putting in my not my thumb, but my toenails. Or you know what? No feet pics for this thing. How about that? My toe print is what I was trying to say. Don't try to be funny. Okay. So let's try this again. Okay. So now this time I got my password correct. And if you saw my password from one of my first attempts, just know I changed that password. All right, cool. So let's do the test here. So keys out, everything out. Actually, key in because I need to finish locking it. Okay. All right, here we go. So here's the test. Password first. There we go. Password successful. And now for the fingerprint. Let's try something that's pure. Okay, we are in business. So thank you for your time. I'm gonna start putting guns in here and get this thing to a room. Take it easy. Thanks for your time. Later.